Hello and welcome to Network. My name is Pumelele Zondi with your technology and social media news. It's SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za and email. I'm at Solar Power Africa as they're trying to come up with various solutions that could possibly help with South Africa's load shedding problem and assist in the rest of the African continent as well. This week, Twitter poll is asking you if you trust generative AI technology like ChatGPT and the one that Google announced recently. Results of that are coming up later in the program. Firstly, here's what's coming up in this particular episode. We have Solar Power Africa, details on cryptocurrency laws, the Gap Awards, and we discuss mobile phone sales. As South Africa has been battling massive power outages, there are many people who are looking for solutions like inverters, like these particular ones that are being showcased here at Solar Power Africa. And this is the reason such conferences are necessary, and conversations here are looking at what kind of solutions can be found in order to solve our crisis and possibly help the rest of the African continent as well. Those meeting here in Cape Town are not waiting for President Cyril Ramaphosa to announce the proposed electricity minister. Some say they already have creative ways that can help South Africans not suffer so many power outages.
I think we need to change the narrative as people around this room. We need to change how we act, how we support each other as industry partners, how we support and direct government policy so that we can move towards that future that we hope for.
At Solar Power Africa, there are exhibitors and discussions about possible solutions to the country's power crisis.
One of the challenges that Huawei as a technology provider have solved by reducing that levelized cost of energy, digitizing energy, using huge R&D budgets to bring down the cost of components such as the inverters, and how do you then bring that manufacturing to South Africa? That's a really big challenge.
Inverters have become the order of the day for many South Africans, but some complain about them being clumsy, big and an eyesore. There are exhibitors here who say they've managed to mix available technology with beautiful design.
We were looking for any challenges or potential problems, but the feedback has been great. That's why we're launching it. And actually today we were also awarded a design award by EUPD, which has recognized Huawei as one of the top PV manufacturers in the South African market. So this also incorporates the design, the feedback, and the customer perception of our PV products.
The price for some of these solutions could be too high for many. Away from here, solar power installers say there are ways that can make the high cost bearable. All right, we're outside the city ICC right now. Let's go to cryptocurrency, something that's gone largely unregulated in South Africa, but the government has made it clear that it's about to change.
News that cryptocurrency financial companies in South Africa will need to apply for a license to operate caused a buzz in the industry. The country's Financial Sector Conduct Authority's Regulatory Frameworks Department said in October last year that a declaration that crypto assets are financial products does not mean that they are legal tender.
I think this is a very critical and important step in ensuring consumer protection. It's something that we've been considering for a while, and I think there were quite a few things we needed to balance. There were concerns about legitimizing crypto assets, which this is not doing. It's merely pulling in the activities related to crypto assets to ensure it happens in a controlled environment. So we're not legitimizing crypto assets. It's not a product regulation, as I've mentioned, and we're not giving credence to crypto assets. But there's a lot of developments and a lot of perspectives, and we are continuing to focus on this and see what else must change. And I think it is likely that in future we might develop a very specific framework for this. But as an interim step, I think this is a very good step and will at least provide that high level of protection for consumers as these developments progress over time.
A crypto trader herself, Maria Ditani Bongwe, had this to say about the FSCA's announcement.
They called us to come to SARS and declare that we are making money through cryptocurrencies and we are having cryptocurrencies. In terms of trading, it's very, very easy because they are linked with the banks. So whatever you are doing, the bank is recording and reporting it to it. And as a cryptocurrency trader, you should actually look for your own auditor or financial advisor or any bookkeeper, accountant that will actually tell you that in terms of trading, because there's trading where you are trading fiat, that one is sorted with the SARS. But the one, when it comes to cryptocurrencies, they are still working on them.
Financial overseers around the world over the years have been struggling with how to regulate the growing number of digital cryptocurrencies and tokens. Digital currency analysts weighed in on this, calling it a good move by the FSCA.
I think the regulation portion comes in just from past history. So we've seen the likes of the brothers, the South African brothers that were in the headlines a few years ago. Equally so, we've seen the likes of the collapse of FTX recently as well. These are indications that allow for regulations to prevent fraud. It allows for prevention of money laundering, and it allows to keep the consumer behavior really at the core with it. In addition to that, I think all of these things need to really encompass the monetary policy, which we all abide by, whether it's on the traditional sort of currency end or the digital currency end. In addition to that, I think it is also really important that regulation exists from a confidence level for investors so that a lot more innovation can actually happen in the space.
The Financial Regulators Commissioner Unathi Kamlana said the regulator deliberately referred to crypto assets rather than cryptocurrencies as they believe that the business of cryptocurrency is still a risky one.
What we are doing with the regulatory framework is to be able to obtain some information and data from crypto asset service providers, to analyze that data, to understand the risks, and to communicate as widely as we can on what those risks are. But that does not take away completely the risk of losing your capital and not having any of the gains that are promised to a financial customer realized. And it's quite important to make this point. We do see across the board, not just for crypto, but for other asset types as well, that there's a problem with greed when people believe stories that they get told, which really sound too good to be true. And we continue to say to financial customers, if it sounds too good to be true, it is too good to be true. And you must be very circumspect of just, parting with your hard and money.
South African cryptocurrency financial companies will need to apply for a license between June 1st and November 20th, 2023.
Entrepreneurs who make things work in the township economy specifically were recently recognized at the Gap Awards at the Innovation Hub.
Campus Student Accommodation web-based app, ResLocate won this year's Innovation Hub Accelerator Program Award.
I haven't won anything at home, and everything we've been doing, we've kind of been doing it through bootstrapping, which is basically our own savings, so to kind of get a boost, that means a lot because it's going to be able not only to help us, but help students around the country.
The mobile application lets prospective students nationwide enrolled in institutions of higher learning find credible accommodation and work-study programs through artificial intelligence.
Okay, so ResLocate is a portal that finds housing for students, but we realized that students need much more than that because they also need opportunities. So what we did was we integrated artificial intelligence that actually finds opportunities and communities for them based on their preferences.
The competition was established to support and showcase township innovators and entrepreneurs who are harnessing the power of technology to drive sustainable transformation.
The role of innovation is very important because we've seen with COVID. COVID forced us, whether you were not embracing technology, you had to embrace technology because that was the only way to survive. And so it's very important as the government agency, as the innovation hub, as we are an innovation agency, to ensure that we encourage entrepreneurship as well as innovation through the support that we provide entrepreneurs.
Another victor in the Gap Township economy category was Basadi e-Waste. It offers hands-on solutions to clients that involve safe and healthy disposal of redundant IT and electronic equipment.
So what we do is that we collect electronic waste from corporate companies down to schools and households, and we actually use the electronic waste being it could be something as a TV, something as a computer, a laptop. So we take components from there and then we extract minerals out of it.
Successful startups will receive invaluable business strategy support and mentorship from the Innovation Hub and its partners.
This is going to be our yearly contribution towards innovation, where we're going to solicit a group of SMMEs with ideas that could be at concept level, and we mold these ideas into commercialization, industrialization, and for these SMMEs to grow in a globally competitive environment.
South Africa is one of those countries that does contribute in terms of funding for research and development through high institutions of higher learning. That's where it starts. Additional support is needed, so creating spaces for them to be able to test their market, test their system, test their product. Innovation Hub is one such place.
Okay, so this program has been going for a decade long, with just over 900 entrepreneurs and innovators that have come into the GAP program, primarily focusing on how could we take really good research students from universities and get their products into the market.
The winning apps range from small startups to established brands such as AI Diagnostics.
We've developed a digital stethoscope that is coupled with an AI that has been trained to recognize tuberculosis in patients. So what we've done, we've positioned ourselves to service clinics and basically assist with their TB screening.
The winners will also receive commercialization support and seed funding and a year-long incubation support at the Innovation Hub's Business Incubator.
SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. After the break, we chat about what you can say about social media videos that appear, especially with regards to crime. This as AKA passed on recently.
Feel like you can't catch a break? Get an OUTsurance quote today, and if we can't beat your current car insurance premium, ask for 500 Rand. With the same insurer and claim-free for 3 years, then ask for 1,500 Rand. Savings or cash, you always get something out. SMS CAR to 44211 to switch and save today.
Stories that connect us. Conversations that inspire us. Voices that move us forward. At home, on every journey, and every destination. SABC, everywhere for everyone, always.
SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. News network at sabc.co.za on email. Now, over the last week or so, we've seen a lot of people sharing videos of a rapper, aka as he was gunned down outside Wish in Durban, that's on Florida Road. But some people have also started speculating about what could have happened, and they are zooming in on individuals that are seen in the video, and sometimes going to the lengths of saying that they could be the suspects that the police should be looking into. But some of this is legal, but some of this is also illegal. To help us understand all of this and the legalities around sharing videos and speculation on social media is Melusi Kulu from Donda Attorneys. Hello, and thank you very much for being a part of our network. Maybe we start by the illegalities or legalities of sharing such videos. It's not illegal to share a video on social media, is it?
Yes, the sharing of video is not a problem. The problem is it's got to do with ethical issues. You know, if you're sharing a video of someone that has been killed in a gruesome manner, what will the family think? Because it will make the family, you know, to have more pain. So it's something about ethics rather than the law. But maybe the issue can be speculations that can be raised by the person who's sharing, because you share a video and you have speculations about who did it.
And then there are many people who are speculating about what could have happened. Are speculations allowed legally?
From where I'm standing, that would be a defamation of character based on the social media posts that have been made about the person. Then that person will take that particular person who did that to court for a civil claim, and will ask that the court pays him for damages that he suffered and the pain that he suffered. And I'm not saying that's the exact rate, but we've seen in the past where someone had to pay 200,000 for saying something on Twitter which was not true. So people must be careful about making those speculations which are based on, you know, things that they are thinking about rather than the proof which has the evidence for what they are saying.
You speak about defamation of character. What is defamation?
Defamation of character is when someone says something that is untruthful and they say it in an intentional manner and say, this is what you did, or this is what you said when you never did that. For example, in this case, someone will say, you are part of the crew that planned the killing of, as is in this case, as AKA. So if that someone says that, that's defaming your character, and they are hurting your image as well in the society. So, you know, it's something that can be painful, and it can cause depression, and it can cause your integrity to be questioned, especially if you're a close person of AKA in this case sense, or in any other case. So like I've said, we've seen cases where people make outbursts or they say something on social media, especially on Twitter, and they are taken to court. It happened for some other guy who made a statement about some famous not artist, but famous presenter, and he had to pay. I won't mention names, obviously, for now.
So what are the repercussions of defamation? Can there be a sentence?
Only about civil cases where you're making a claim for damages or that you've suffered. But for criminal cases, maybe let's say you share a video and you swear at a person, for example, that becomes what we call criminal injury. That's a criminal offense based on common law. So you can be arrested for that, you can pay a fine, or you can imprison for a number of months or so, depending on the case and the seriousness of it, of course.
All right, is CCTV footage of this manner admissible in court?
CCTV footage is admissible in court, but it must be obtained in a legal manner, and the police must apply at court using what we call a Section 205 subpoena based on the Criminal Procedure Act. And then they will be able to get that video from where they want to get it, and they must keep it in a safe place, and it must not be interfered with, because there are three things that are needed for a video. in a criminal case. The first one is that it must be original, it must be authentic, and it must have not been interfered with. Because once there are loopholes or it has been interfered with, the case can be thrown out of court based on that, or the case can suffer, and because the video evidence is not used, the person can walk free.
Can it be extracted directly from social media and be used in court without going any other route?
As long as if it's not in social media, but they can get it from somewhere else, as long as they get it from the right person, and then they can use it in court. Even if it's used in social media, but if it's obtained in a legal manner and it's kept in a safe place and there's no interference, then it can still be used. The important thing is the video must not be interfered with, whether it's been shared or not, but the one that they get, the original one, must be obtained in the right way.
Well, why is it not illegal to share the video itself?
Well, the first reason is there is no common law offense, or there's no legislation that talks about sharing a video that has been made public to be a criminal offense. Now, what we must not confuse ourselves with, we've got the POPI Act, we've got the Cyber Crimes Act, we've got the Films and Publications Amendment Act. Those acts talk about sharing of videos or photos which are private. And specifically in POPI Act, it talks about sharing a private video, and if you don't have a consent, then it becomes a problem from a legal perspective. So those legislations, they criminalize the sharing of videos in that nature. But here we're talking about a video which is in a public domain, and you are just sharing something which is painful, but it's not illegal. So it's up to you to think about it, to say, if I share this and someone from the family of the person who's being killed that is shown in a video and they see this, how will they feel? So it's an ethical question in a sense of Ubuntu to say, no, this is a gruesome video, let me not share it. So what is ethical to me may be different to another person. So it's all about an individual decision.
All right, Melo Sikulu, thank you very much for being a part of our network. Now, you have heard that you should not be speculating on social media and saying who could be part of the ring that's involved in all of this, because you could be facing a defamation suit against you. It is SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za on email. Let's take a quick break. SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Here's what else took place in the rest of the world in the tech space.
We all need to become more skeptical about anything we read online, according to cybersecurity consultants with Secure, who say AI chatbots like ChatGPT could hugely increase our risk of being scammed.
So what we did is we copy-pasted some text from Wikipedia, from some web articles, and that text was about the current Ukrainian conflict, the Nord Stream pipeline, and US naval maneuvers in 2022. And then we asked it to write an article insinuating that the US were the ones who attacked that pipeline. And then it did it very well. So it is possible quite easily, with just some copy-pasting, to ask it to write a piece of fake news about something that it knows nothing about.
The company said AI-generated text, both benign and malign, will soon become so common that simply identifying that AI wrote it will not help us identify criminal, malicious, or abusive content. Instead, we are all going to have to get better at fact-checking and verifying what we are reading. And now in the United Kingdom. An immersive virtual reality platform that combines artificial intelligence and psychometric testing allows employees to step into the metaverse to level up in the real world. The Jensen 8 platform transports up to 20 co-workers into a futuristic VR scenario where they can collaborate on problem-solving tasks.
We put people into a group situation where they have to work out what to do and how to do it. We have another environment which is more focused on ethics, how to show up in the right way, inclusion and belonging, which of course is pretty topical. And that's a competitive environment where it's all about, will you take a shortcut in order to succeed, or what will you do to succeed?
The creators say that the AI-driven platform records and monitors in-game actions and essentially eliminates human bias using discriminative AI. And now in France. A self-balancing exoskeleton that enables users to move in multiple directions hands-free has been cleared by the US Food and Drug Administration for stroke rehabilitation.
There's 3 of us who are the founders of Wandercraft, which was founded in 2012. 2 of the founders, including myself, have loved ones in our family in wheelchairs. For me, it's my son Oscar, and one day he said to me, "Dad, you're a robotics engineer. Why don't you make a robot that will help me to walk?"
Since 2022, Wandercraft exoskeleton has already deployed 22 copies of it in clinical settings and 5 in other research settings. It has been sold to hospitals in France, Luxembourg, and the United States and costs about $220,000 a piece.
This week, Twitter poll is asking you how you managing load shedding. And that's it. That's all we have. You find us on the SABC Network, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It's News Network at sabc.co.za, an email from me, Spumelele Zondi, and the rest of the team right here in Cape Town. Have a good one. Bye-bye.